Justin Stevens, welcome. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm fantastic. Look, I'm really excited about what you're going to share with us, right? I have a little bit of a preview into it, and I'm really excited. But before we get to that, tell us who Justin Stevens is.
Great question. So, Justin Stevens is a very unique individual. When I was 13 years old, my parents owned a remodeling company, a plumbing company, and an electrical company. They bought a sales training franchise to train their businesses. So, I went through sales training at 13, and it
Wow.
changed my life. After college, I spent 10 years working in the family sales training business as a coach, consultant, mentor, helping small businesses grow. I ultimately left that because I was learning digital marketing. And the sales training business was a franchise, and I broke their rules. So I got my hand slapped. We got a cease and desist letter, and I was like, you know what? You make the rules. I get to decide if I'm going to play by them. So I left, started my own entrepreneurial journey, which has been absolutely nuts. It includes multiple failed businesses, but also multiple successes and lessons learned through those businesses. So it's been fun.
Okay, so you started early. You got indoctrinated into the possibilities that sales offers, right?
Oh,
Not the negativity that salesmen or used car people and all that, but the positivity of salesmen make the world go round. Is that fair?
amen. Amen, brother. Yep.
All right. I love that. Okay. I didn't get to that till way later in life. Okay. Way later in life. All right. So when you talk about you mentioned failed businesses. Well, I have to correct you, right?
Yep.
You learned two
Yep.
hard lessons that improved your ability for success in the future. Wouldn't that be fair?
Uh, I went to college. I graduated from college. The education I got as an entrepreneur is worth 1,000 times what I invested for college.
Did you find yourself having to rewire your brain from the lessons that you learned in college in order to be successful?
100%. Our whole education system is set up to have people stop asking questions, sit down and listen.
Yeah.
In reality, life is about asking as many questions as you can, building a team and working together to accomplish your dreams, and being a part of society, not being alone.
Mm,
It, it, it
yes.
is completely different than what we're taught growing
Now, I'm going to save that topic for another time
up.
because I have a question,
Okay.
right? On your resume, you say, I have grown a CPA firm from X to Y. What are those numbers? You grew it from, what's the number?
So it's 650K.
Two.
It was about 1.8 million.
All right. So, for anybody who's listening, we're about to hear how you grow a financial services firm double. Okay.
Yeah.
Justin, how? How do we do that?
So the first thing you've got to do is stop overcomplicating it for your customers. Uh, I've I spent 10 years as a sales coach, trainer, and consultant. All I focused on was collecting money. All every business owner out there focuses on is collecting money. We Until I got into this industry, I didn't realize how much our tax system is killing us. And so it's understanding that. And then once I started working in this firm and building out the sales systems and processes, I realized how dumb I have been over the last 10 years because my education was not about the financial system we're forced to live in. So I worked with this firm and said, listen, you're asking people what they want. They don't freaking know what they want. They don't know what they need. They are coming to you to say, wham, wham, guess what? You're being a silly goose. I know better. I've got a system. I've got a process. Let me walk it through you through it so you get better results.
Okay, let's unpack this a little bit. The first
Please.
thing you said was uncomplicate it, make it simpler.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I'll say we're talking user experience and how they can communicate and pay you money. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that you said was I heard this, but you didn't emphasize it. You said systems and processes. All right.
It,
Is that systems and processes from the marketing sales side of things, or is that the overall business?
the overall business. Most business owners are silly gooses and they think they have multiple products to sell. If you own a business, you only have one product, and that is the business. The more you do in the business, the less valuable your business is. Your business is your product. And if you do not look at it like a machine, then you will live the same life over and over and over again.
All right. I think I
Because,
know what you're saying. All right. I think I
okay,
know what you're saying, but I want to make sure that we're using the simplest language possible.
okay,
All
please.
right. So when you say your business is what you're selling, you're saying, well, if you're in the tax business, your business is not doing taxes. Your business is selling the tax process service or tax service. Is that what
Exactly.
you're saying? If you're
Yep.
a bookkeeper, your business is not bookkeeping. Your business is selling the bookkeeping. Is that fair?
Yep. Your business is selling it, it's producing it, it is creating the ecosystem to get someone from a need and desire to that need and desire being fulfilled over and over and over again. Because at the end of the day, time is the most valuable asset on the planet. And we all have the ability to pick where we invest that time and how we invest that time.
All right. So
So,
I would definitely agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. But that leads me to this question: why do so many financial services people charge by the hour?
because they haven't figured out how to charge for performance ba- instead of by the hour. So, there's a book out there called Built to Sell by John Worthrow. Amazing book. It is about a marketing agency that did everything and then how it transitioned to niching down, focusing on logos, and building a business that he was able to sell like 4 years later for 6 million instead of going bankrupt. Great book.
Okay, great. Look, I love this. Yeah, you cannot know how much I love this because look. I've been around the block a few times,
Yep.
and there's a theme that you keep running through here, and that is that people don't know what they don't know,
Yes.
right? They know
Yep.
what they know, but they don't know what they don't know,
Yes.
and you're telling the audience that on the one hand you think your business is this, but you don't know what you need, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what you need from a marketing standpoint, whether you do it yourself in house or whether you hire it out. You don't know what you need, right?
Correct.
So, is
Yep.
it my job as a marketer to help them do what they need, or is it my job as a marketer to give them what they want?
It is your job to help them do what they need. And it's your job to help them understand that the best thing they can do is give the headache to you because they don't have time. I don't have time to go do research on tax strategies and figure out how I should do the Augusta rule or my accountable plan or like, yeah, I know I need it. I know
Right,
I want it.
right. But
I don't have
how
the
do you execute it,
CPA.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, and
the
that's
Augusta rule.
right. Like, that's what people don't realize. is when we spend our money. Money, you there's so many rabbit holes I could
Yeah,
go
I gotta
down.
say we we could go down the scarcity route. We could go mindset. We could go. Is it the root or is it the cause?
Exactly. Like, it's everywhere.
All
And
right.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
it is. Okay, so let's stay on track. And when you grew, you come into this company. They're at a certain level of success, but
mhm,
I have this picture of the owner of this business that says, "Yes, I'm having success, but I've hit a ceiling. I've hit a wall. I can't get to the next level. I'm stressed out. I'm overworked, and I want to work less. I want more
mhm,
profit, and I want more time with my family." Is that the picture that you walked into?
100%.
All right.
Uh,
So we have this entrepreneur and
mhm,
they have this core set of values that they're struggling against.
mhm,
More time with family, more income, retirement,
yep.
less work. How did you help them solve that?
So the first thing, we met at a mastermind. And at that mastermind, they were talking about all the marketing they were doing to market their business. Once I started asking questions, is when I helped them uncover that they really aren't ready for marketing. If you do not have a strategy, so the first problem people have is they don't even know what business model they're building under. You have to define your business model before you take action. But once you do that, then you have to put in all the systems. Before you spend thousands on marketing, you want to know exactly what you're selling. Because
What
if
does that what does that mean? What does that mean though? They were already in business and doing something, and you said that they did not know what their business model was. What does that mean?
so, it, go to an accounting firm and say, help me. And they'll say, okay, what do you want? Right. So I look at accounting businesses. You should run it like a country club. You should be like, this is the minimum payment. This is what you get for it. We have a bunch of a la carte stuff after that. But right now, like, listen, I spend all day, every day doing accounting stuff. Well, I spend all day, every day doing sales stuff. But if I was
Right.
when I
Yeah.
sold accounting, what I said was, listen, I spend every day doing accounting. You came to me not because you wanted to tell me what to do, but because you wanted me to tell you what to do, right? You don't go to a doctor and say, hey, doc, I think I need this medication.
Yeah.
You,
Okay. Fair point. Fair point. Right? Yeah. Fair
right?
point. You go to the doctor and say, "Hey, doctor, what's wrong with me? I don't know. Let me take a look." You don't go to the
Exactly.
doctor and say, "Hey, I think I have cancer." How do you know? No, let me take a look.
Yeah,
So you're saying that the financial services expert should take that approach. You said they come to you and say, "Well, I need help with taxes." How do you know?
right.
Well, I mean, beyond a letter from the IRS.
Right. So, how you know if you need help on taxes? This is a very complicated answer. Is if you're breathing and have to pay taxes. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
people think I'm
No,
silly when
no,
I say
no. It's
stuff
like a
like
given,
that.
right? It's like you're coming to a CPA firm or a bookkeeper or anything. It's like, okay, well, look, yeah, you need this because it's going to help you with your taxes. Well, I don't need help with taxes. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, exactly. I, I think it's the amount of people that overpay because they don't understand the tax code is literally 8 Bibles long. It is insane how much is in it. And 99% of it is built to avoid paying taxes.
Yes, yes.
Like, it is designed for us to use it. Have you ever played a board game?
Of
right?
course. Yep.
They're super fun, except if you don't know the rules. Have you ever played a board game against someone who knows and loves the game and's played it a lot, and it's your first time? It's never as
You have no
fun.
chance.
You've got no chance. That is what doing taxes on your own is. You are being a silly goose. If you
Silly
think,
goose.
if you think once, once a year, you can look at a tax return and do a better job than someone who does it every freaking day.
Yep. So let's talk one more real quick before we have to wrap up.
Yeah.
If you are running a financial services CPA bookkeeper accounting firm, what systems and processes must you put in place?
The most important system and process is your quality control system. There are
That's the front end or the back end, like who
the
you
back
bring
end,
in as a client, or
the
what before you put the service, finish the sign off on the service.
so the most important metric in any business is the lifetime value of a customer. If you want to keep a customer for a lifetime, you don't focus just on sales. You don't focus on how many customers I can bring in. You focus on how can I bring in a customer and serve them so well that if someone prospect it to them, they would say, I think Justin is hiring and they're awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
awesome.
service is the number one system you have to work.
In this time that we're currently in economically,
Hmm.
I would agree 100% that you have to build a moat around your business, and that is through exceptional service. What
Hmm.
the biggest complaint that anybody has about any business that from a consumer to a business standpoint is that the service sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, so
100%.
even today, it's like if you can even get to average, you're better than most.
Yeah, totally.
And
And that, it,
yeah, so
uh,
if you're exceptional, right? This
yeah,
is what I hear. That's what I hear
yeah,
Justin saying. If you're exceptional, then you
yeah,
stand an even greater chance of being able to keep your clients and get new ones.
yes. And that's why it's important to brand you yourself. So when I think about tax strategy, the biggest and most expensive tax anyone will ever pay is the tax on their time chasing someone else's dream if it does not align with yours.
Okay.
Paying a financial tax, I'll do that all day. Do not tax my time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm an entrepreneur.
Like, right? And so that's like, people do not realize because me, I only have 24 hours. So after this interview, whether you like it or not, doesn't matter. You get it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's you, that's the interview you got.
Yep.
Once your listeners listen to it, that's what they get. Like there are no refunds. There
Yes.
are no go backsies. You
Right.
can't go back to. I remember in college sitting in our fraternity break room, some of my college fraternity brothers were talking about a stock called Apple, and it was in 2002. And I can remember him talking about it. It was like $30 a share or something cheap. And they were like, yeah, I think it's going to do great. Guess what I did?
I'm
I
gonna.
did not.
I was gonna
I
say,
did
guess what you
not.
didn't do?
I didn't go invest, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why people don't realize it. Like, if you want someone on your team, they only have 24 hours. You have to make it a fit for them and a fit for you.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're working with someone who's based on salary. If you pay someone salary, you are buying their brain, not their time,
Interesting. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I can make a huge impact. Like I have a lot of knowledge because I've messed up a lot and I have taken more risks than most people have. And that's why I have the knowledge I have. And so it's understanding as a CPA, your experience, like when someone comes to you, it's really easy. You just have to help them see you have 24 hours just like they do. And if someone says, wow, that's way more than I pay, say, guess what? I have clients who pay way more than that.
Right. Right.
Because at the end of the day, you get what you paid for. Tony Robbins has a waiting list for coaching clients. He charges $1 million plus a percentage of your business for 1 hour a month. He's got a waiting list.
And that's like, okay, so we're going to run out of time here, right? We're going to run
Yeah.
out of time. But one of the aspects that I see frequently are people complaining about, I don't make enough money, right?
Hmm.
I have this business, but I don't make enough money. I'm also charging by the hour,
Yep.
and I serve everybody. But okay,
Yep.
wait a second. Do you hear what you just said? I'm
Yep.
listening to Justin. Justin said, you should be very selective in who you do business with. You should niche down and you should charge way more than anybody else.
Way more.
Well, if you have expertise,
Yeah.
then, then you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have expertise, you better get some.
You can't do it. And so that's where sales is the most important profession in the world, right?
Yeah.
And if you are married, if you have kids, if you work with people, if you talk to people, you're in sales.
Are you saying that you got your wife because you were able to sell her on yourself?
100%. Like I could go into that. I told her on our first date I was looking for the woman I was going to marry and the mother of my kids. And if she wasn't looking for a long-term future, let's make it easy and stop now.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what? No one loses when you're transparent. No one loses when you're upfront. I'll tell people exactly the profit I make off them. You know why? Because if they don't want me to make a profit, they're not a client I want to work with.
Woo! 100%.
Like,
Justin, you just hit me in the feels, buddy. Because I'm on the same page. It's like, okay, you say you want a service. I say I'm excellent at that service. Why do you not want to pay for excellence?
huh, most
Uh,
people don't.
it's like, okay, well, if you want mediocre, I can send you down over here to find mediocre. They're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, if someone wants something from you, sell it and put a price tag that you'd be willing to do it. Like, for example, let's say you said, Justin, I think you're crazy and I need help. And I want you to come tomorrow to my business and rework it with me, whatever. But tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. So now I'm in a conundrum. And I could say no, or I could say, you know what? For $1 million, I can make that happen. Now the choice is yours,
Right.
right?
Right.
Don't don't tell people no. Use and this is money is a medium of exchange. It is, my opinion, one of the most worthless assets in the world. It recycles itself Like, the thing is, I can always make more money. I can always build another business. Like, if your success is tied to that, then you are going to constantly be unhappy
Hmm. Yeah.
because there's always more money to make. There's always someone with more money than you. Like, uh, tie your success to the impact you want to make.
Right.
That is where true fulfillment in life lies.
I like that. I mean, like, people with the advent of social media, everybody got into this comparative analysis.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, wait a second. You're doing a comparative analysis against a fake backdrop. Like that's not real. People don't show you everything in social media. They show you the best. So why are you
Yeah,
comparing yourself to that?
100%. And so that's why on my social media, I share everything. Like this summer, I'll be real transparent right now. This summer is really hard. I've been going through a lot of depression and personal growth challenges. It has been excruciating. And I shared that on social media. And I've had multiple people because I went through a very difficult weekend where it I was like, you know what? It would be easier if I was not here.
Ooh.
Right? Like if- full transparency. That was this summer. I'm My 40-year vision has been the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. And I can't even get people to understand it yet. Like you've got to build it here, then build it here.
Hmm.
And that's just life.
And
So,
so are you doing better mentally?
oh, totally. Totally.
Because you seem like you're
Yeah. uh,
all positive and gung ho.
I
Is
I
that is
am.
that a facade or is that real?
That is me. You know
Good.
what? Because at the end of the day, we all struggle. Period.
We do. 100%.
Bar none. And so people like if you think, hey, I can't share this. I can't tell people this. Guess what? You think you are the out of 7 billion people, do you think you are the first person that's had that thought or that challenge or that obstacle? We are all in this together. Time is the great equalizer. And yeah, we may have different problems. Someone may not have financial problems, but I bet they have marriage problems or kid problems. Everybody's heart is different,
Yeah,
but we all have our own heart.
we do. All right, Justin. Well, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Um, this has been extremely informative, but I want to summarize. So if a business wants to grow,
Hmm.
they have to do three things. They have to realize that they're not in the business that they're in,
Yep.
and they have to create systems and processes to maximize and do the thing that they really do. And
Yep.
the last thing they need to do is make sure that they have some type of quality control to
100%.
ensure long-term value of clients and retention.
Yep. 100%.
So those four things
Those four things.
is what
And
you
I,
did to grow a CPA firm from 650 to 1.5 million.
yep,
And over
exactly.
over what time?
Like 10 months. I oversold production in 4 months. I had to stop sales for 4 months. Like it's the system.
Right.
It is the system. And that's why I can go in and work in a business for 6 months and create a ton of systems and move on. The business is a machine. It
Right.
will still
Right.
run. It's not me. And this is what most business owners do wrong, especially in accounting firms. You are the system, right?
Hmm.
If you cannot scale, it's you're the system.
Right.
You need to change it to the business as the system.
I would agree. All right. So, Justin, we see that you have your URL up here, justindcstevens.com. Is that
Yep.
how people should contact you if they want to find out more about any of the things that you talk about?
100%. You can get to all my social medias, the podcasts I'm starting, my blogs, all of it right there.
Okay, very good. Very good.
JustinDCStevens.com.
Thank you so much for being a part of this process.
You are most welcome. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, me too.